Welcome to the Dynasty Chat, the ultimate podcast for NFL Dynasty football, covering the latest news, player analysis, and trade strategies to help dominate Dynasty leagues. League mates, fellow Dynasty managers, and members of the fantasy football community will join in to debate, break down moves, and share their expertise. And let's be real, there's nothing better than staying one step ahead of the competition. This show is here to help you do exactly that. Follow us, and let's get to it. Welcome back to another episode of the Dynasty Chat. I'm your host, TopShottaX. Please follow me here, and follow us right here as well. I won't bore you with a long intro. I'm going to give you an update on Manny's situation. We are finally paid in all leagues, or at least financially committed from all 18 members across both leagues. That's a first in league history before August 1st. Congratulations to me. We've got a raffle situation going on that I mentioned to you on the last video, and now I'm going to demonstrate it for you and show you how it all works. Some early training highlights from camp. Chris Olave got paid. That's great for anybody who's investing in the Saints this year. Anybody doing that? Oh, okay. You got a fierce, it seems like, quarterback battle in Minnesota and in Cleveland. I'm not going to try to decide that for you after, 4 days of training camp being open? Yeah, we're not going to do that, but we are going to look at some highlights. We are going to make some totally unwarranted guesses and conjecture about it. And then we're going to get onto our main subject after all that's out the way, which is the good and the bad and the ugly for each Dynasty team in the Year 2 League. This week we are covering the Eastside Endzoners. That's going to be JP Terry's Sesh Hollow Squad, Bill Dozer's team, and Mo Money.
That shit is fucking trash.
Show me the money.
Show me the money! Derek, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money! What you gonna do, Derek? Show me the money!
All right, so at the final hour, Manny, the great one, called in, and he informed me that he paid his $150 in full, so he is fully committed for the 2026 season. And he's all good. That leaves Mo and Nando, who are paying installments. I have their money in my Cash App, and once they have paid us in full before the draft, I will add their money to Team Stake and finalize everything for sure. So we got our producer, Shotgun the dog, here. Do you have any words for us before we get into episode 3 of the 2026 season, Shotgun? You got anything to say? People want to hear from you. Our rookie draft is August 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, five rounds and 1 minute, 30 seconds per pick. Clear your schedule. The drafts will not be rescheduled unless there's a fucking terrorist attack or some shit. All right? We ain't going to reschedule it for you. You're just going to get auto-drafted. All right? Next topic. I'm going to use this device to randomly select one person in the Year 2 League. That person will have the power to change their division or to change someone else's division. This is super important. If you played in this league last year, you know what the strong divisions are. You know who you probably don't want to compete against. You know who won the league last year and who maybe needs to, get knocked off their high horse a little bit. If you win the raffle, okay, if your name is selected, you will have the power to take one team from the division that they're in and move them somewhere else. You can do it on yourself. You can do it on a rival. You can do it on anyone you want, okay? This is how the raffle's going to go. Let me show you. Not see through this egg. Okay?
what I'm gonna do is, it's probably backwards on your side. Cupo 4. All 12 names in the thing. This is just a demonstration to show you how the machine and the raffle works. Everybody is eligible and everybody participates in this raffle for free. There's nothing that you have to do on your side, except for when your name gets called. Watch this. I'm probably gonna have a helper, like my son or something. Producer Eli, he's probably gonna be here. He's almost definitely gonna be here that night. And he's gonna pick the name, or I'll have my wife or somebody do it, a helper. What's gonna happen is, boom, egg. Your name gets pulled. I'm gonna text you. Your name got pulled. You will have 12 hours. 20, I'll give you 24 hours. Let's be fair. 24 hours to decide who you wanna swap around. Okay, that gives you plenty of time to look at how each division is constructed and who you want to screw over. Maybe you just want to help yourself out, move yourself into a weaker division, right? And that choice will be totally up to you, okay? That's how the raffle is gonna work, okay? The raffle will take place during the owners' meeting. The owners meeting, there's not going to be 2 owners meetings. There's going to be 1 owners meeting on Saturday, August 22nd on YouTube Live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I might start the damn thing with the raffle and just get it out of the way. If you do not decide, I will do another raffle and choose another name. Boom, that's it for the raffle. If you want to be featured and have your opinions heard on an episode of the Dynasty Chat, all you gotta do is call on. I want to hear what you have to say. Tell me about your favorite players. Tell me how your team is gonna dominate the league this year. Let's get into it. And now a word from our sponsors.
Today, being retarded means leading a full life. Retarded people go to work or school just like their neighbors and come back to a real home. A supervised home, right in the neighborhood, where they belong. Being retarded never stopped anyone from being a good neighbor.
Chris Olave finally delivers the elite season fantasy managers have been waiting for, and the Saints pay him like he's elite. Let's see how this works out. You know, he has an injury history. Big bad league-winning Bijan resets the running back market. The deal makes Bijan the highest-paid running back in NFL history. Well, until Jahmyr Gibbs gets his payday, but he's sitting out of camp until the Lions roll over. This could get ugly if they try to play cute with the bag. Stephon Diggs agrees to sign with the Commanders. I guess this means we won't be hearing much from Brandon Ayuk anymore. Early reports from Browns camp shows Shedeur Sanders may be leading the quarterback race up there. Meanwhile, J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray trade bombs and blows at Minnesota's camp. Who are you hoping takes the reins? All right, we got a live feed from Raiders camp.
You like that? You like that? You thought it was your time, you fucking nerd. Big Kirko still ain't done, dumbass. You better be to ride the bench for another 2 years. We go 7-10 and I make $50 million a year, motherfucker.
Eastside Endzoners. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's start off this conversation, this breakdown, with J.P. Terry. I'm taking a look back at last year before we break this down. Let's take a little trip down memory lane. J.P. Terry won 10 games last year. 10-4, walks into the playoffs. This man has a dominant squad. We ended up myself, that is, and JP Terry in the semifinals. And I only beat this man by less than 8 points. Look at this matchup right here. Last year. Wow. Baker Mayfield comes well in under his projections, and Jared Goff does what Jared Goff does. James Cook balls out of control. A-Chain, respectable, hits his numbers. Blake Corum exceeds his numbers. Josh Jacobs shits the bed. Justin Jefferson, for it being a playoff weekend, for championship weekend, I'm going to call that a shitting. I'm not. He scores 14 fantasy points. Okay? This was a tight matchup, and JP Terry's my guy. And I only beat him by 7 points. This team, and guess what? You guys, I keep stressing this point, and you got to pay attention to this point. All it takes for you to go to the playoffs in this is for you to win your division. I was 8-6, and I won my division with an 8-6 record. In fact, maybe I didn't even win my, let's check back. I don't even think I won my division. Let me check with in week 17. Let me check the numbers real quick before I say that. 9-5. I didn't even win my division. Fourth and Long won my division with 9-5. I was 8-6. Fresh Hollow Squad features some of the best players in the league. The standout: Jared Goff, Devin A-Chain, Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Jacoby Myers, Trey McBride, Jacoby Krosky-Merritt, Jaden Higgins, Jamian Sherwood. He's got the Houston Texans defense, McLaughlin, kicker from Tampa Bay, Tyrone Tracy, Justice Hill, Troy Franklin, and he has also strong quarterback play on this team. I actually love this team. How can you not love this team in 110 games league? He had every reason to believe he was going to win the championship this year. He had Jordan Love, Tyrone Tracy, Justice Hill, Tyler Algier, Troy Franklin, Devontae Vian Hicks, Hunter Henry, Will Lutz. This is a really solid. You know what this team is? This is a very balanced team. Okay? He has positional dominance with Trey McBride. Positional dominance with Justin Jefferson, even though he fell below expectations last year. The good, strong quarterback play. Jared Goff, Jordan Love. Jordan Love finishes the 2025 season with 3,381 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. Don't forget, this man got hurt in only 15 games. He had a passer rating of 101.2, QBR of 72.7, the third best for the NFL. Jared Goff, he finishes second in the NFL in both passing yards and touchdown, producing 4,564 yards, 34 touchdowns while completing 68% of his passes. Jared Goff is an elite fantasy producer. Passer rating 105, ranking him third in the league. Strong quarterback play. This year going in, I don't love Kyler Murray and I don't love J.J. McCarthy, but that goes to show you the talent of Justin Jefferson. He still produced with subpar quarterback play. Josh Jacobs, a little bit of offseason trouble, but he did score 13 rushing touchdowns last year, tied him for fourth most in the NFL while rushing for just under 1,000 yards, 929 on 234 carries. He was particularly dangerous in late games. That's the thing about Josh Jacobs. In late games, he scored 8 fourth-quarter rushing touchdowns, including 6 when the score was in 7 points. Bet on Josh Jacobs. DK Metcalf. In his first season with Pittsburgh, Metcalf caught 59 passes for 850 yards and 6 touchdowns. His 14.4 yards per reception showed he remained a major downfield threat despite finishing with the lowest yardage total of his career. Trey McBride. For JP Terry, Trey McBride delivered a monster season. 126 receptions, 1,239 receiving yards, and 11 touchdowns. Talk about elite. He averaged more than 7 catches per game and scored 9 of his 11 touchdowns after halftime, making him one of fantasy football's most valuable tight ends. When you needed Trey McBride, he came through. That's reflected in the 10-4 record and the almost making it to the championship. The good? This team is a legitimate contender. He made it to the semifinals and only lost by 8 points. It's not a team that needs to be torn down. 10 wins and losing to the eventual champion says the core of this team was already good enough to win the league. This is a league-winning team without any contribution from the rookie draft that's coming up. He has enough firepower on this team right now to win our league. JP Terry is the man to beat. The bad? He's got some depth problems on this team. JP's relying heavily on uncertain younger options such as Jaden Higgins, Troy Franklin, and Dontavian Wicks. They have upside, but right now, you don't really have a proven fourth receiver who can comfortably replace an injured starter. And we know injuries are random and can happen to anyone. So I'm guessing for this team, running back depth is also a little bit risky. Achane and Jacobs can carry the position, but behind them you have Tyrone Tracy and Justice Hill, Tyler Algier and Krosky Merritt. There's some useful pieces here, but not much guaranteed weekly volume. One injury to Achane or Jacobs could force JP into a committee-dependent starter situation. The ugly? The ugly part is that this roster may be one injury away from looking average rather than dominant. His bench contains several recognizable names, but most of them are handcuffs, which goes to his intelligence and his drafting ability. JP Terry knows ball, but there's not a clear next man up who can confidently deliver 15 PPR points when Jefferson, Achane, Jacobs, or DK misses time. The overall verdict: elite core, top end PPR stars, premium tight end advantage, and championship level starting potential. This team, though, still, in my opinion, has an A-level ceiling. He fought me tooth and nail last year in the semifinals round, and I was able to squeak by on less than 8 points. Overall, this is a win now contender with a 2 to maybe, I'm going to say 3-year window, depending on what he does and the health of his star players.
All right, let's talk about Billy Dozer. I'm pretty sure he took Josh Allen with his first pick. I mean, there's a lot to like about this team. Josh Allen, Kenny Walker, Luther Burden, Cade Otton, Rashee Rice, Ted McMillan, Ricky Pearsall. He did go down with a season-ending injury, so that's a blow. Malik, but he does get back. It looks like a healthy Malik Neighbors. I'm predicting, from what it's looking like, I'm not going to predict anything. It's looking like Malik Neighbors is going to be healthy more towards the middle and second half of the season. The Giants might, slow walk him a little bit, but I expect for him to return to form for the Giants. So there's a lot of Josh Allen gives Billy the highest weekly ceiling in the league. Josh Allen is Superman.
Back to pass, blitz coming. Allen steps up in the pocket. 40, 30, down to the 20. Allen looking for the end zone, and he's in for a 40-yard touchdown rip.
He finished 2025 with 3,668 passing yards, 25 passing touchdowns, and 579 rushing yards. And 14 of those scores were rushing scores. In a one quarterback league like ours, that kind of combo creates a major advantage on a weekly basis because he can produce elite fantasy totals, even when Buffalo is not having the greatest passing day. Ted McMillan, I think he showed himself to be a cornerstone piece of that up-and-coming Panthers franchise in a winnable division. As a rookie, he caught 70 passes for over 1,000 yards. He had 7 touchdowns, and he was healthy for all 17 games. He led all rookies in receptions and receiving yards. Of course, is the offensive rookie of the year. In a PPR Dynasty League, he should be treated as a long-term wide receiver 1 rather than a upside prospect sort of player. I like Ted McMillan. People are a little bit down on him this year, but I like him. Kenneth Walker, his stock is through the roof. He rushed for, aside from winning the Super Bowl, he rushed for over 1,000 yards.
It's about a 37-yarder from here to try to go up 2 scores. And they're going to keep it conservative from Myers. Walker on the run. He may bust a touchdown. He will! Backbreaker from Kenneth Walker III. And
he led the postseason with 313 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns before getting the MVP honors, right? He balled out of control, and that earned him a 3-year deal and ownership of the Kansas City backroom. Expect for him to be featured pretty heavily in the Chiefs offense after they finished 25th in rushing yards per game last season. They want to keep the pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. They are not going to have him running around all over the place. I don't even think he might be capable of doing that all over the, as much as he did in previous years. So he will be Kenneth Walker will be taking a lot of the pressure and workload off of a team that is going to have above average scoring opportunity. Malik Neighbors, I'm a Giants fan. Y'all know it. He went for 109 and 1,200 yards as a rookie, and he averaged for more than 15 yards per catch during his cut short 2025 season. He did tear his ACL, but if you're looking at training camp, like I've been looking at training camp, he's looking good. I suspect that he'll be back to full form around the midpoint of the season. Okay, probably going to get off to a slow start, but he's going to be back to being an elite dynasty asset. Rashee Rice, Luther Burden, Ricky Pearsall is hurt. They also give this roster a lot of depth at the wide receiver position, with the exception of Ricky Pearsall, but there's also some uncertainty in those pieces. All right. The bad about this roster, he's pretty weak at running outside of Kenneth Walker. Chris Rodriguez, Ramondre Stevenson, and Brian Robinson are going to provide some usable weeks, but none of those players offer a combination or have the secure workload that I would prefer in my RB2. The success of this team is going to be heavily dependent on Kenneth Walker staying healthy. I don't have a lot of faith in that. We know his injury history. He was healthy last year, but we all know running backs who get all those touches, they tend to regress. Cade Otton is good. He'll be useful. And AJ Barner has some developmental appeal, but neither of them provide like an advantage at the tight end spot that you would want. Trey McBride, they're no Trey McBride, they're no Brock Bowers. All right. Let's recap on that for a second. Neighbors is returning from a torn ACL. Rashee Rice's availability and offensive role is going to have to be monitored. Nothing set in stone with that. Luther Burden is still establishing his weekly consistency. Shaheed and Malik Washington may be better used as matchup plays than automatic starters. Ted McMillan is excellent, but asking him or expecting him to carry the wide receiver room while Neighbors recovers could create uneven early season production. The ugly part. What the hell is going on in 49ers world? They're cursed for real. Ricky Pearsall's season-ending injury, major dynasty blow. He's going to miss the entire 2026 season, and he's going under surgery. Still young enough to hold, but you can't count on him as a usable depth piece during this team's rebound from 5-9. And that exposes the central problem with this roster. There's plenty of recognizable names, but not enough dependable weekly starters. A 5-9 team can't rely entirely on ceiling. Neighbors, Pearsall, Rice, Burden, Shaheed, Bryce Young, and the secondary running backs all carry some combination of health, role, or consistency concerns. The roster could look dangerous when everyone is available, but it could also spend another season cycling through uncertain flex options. He has some work to do in the draft this year. Inefficient depth at quarterback as well. Josh Allen should start almost every single week. Bryce Young and Mac Jones are largely expendable on this roster in a one quarterback format. They might be more useful as trade assets, if you ask me. I don't want to undersell this team too much. Yes, Mo finished 5-9 with this squad, but he's got pieces and a good core. There's enough legit building blocks here to rebound in 2026, especially since he has the 103. Kyren Williams is the safest weekly producer on the roster. He followed his 2025 breakout year with 1,252 rushing yards and 210 touchdowns in 2025. Kyren Williams is the safest producer on the roster. Last year, he had 10 touchdowns and 1,252 rushing yards. He was 6th in the NFL in rushing yards. Since becoming the Rams' full-time starter, he has scored 44 touchdowns from scrimmage. Second most in the league over that time period.
One problem for the Rams in the first half. They couldn't score once they got into the red zone. Here they go to Kyren Williams. He's in for the touchdown. Play action, one play. They find the end zone.
He's not the flashiest guy, and he does have Blake Corum on his heels, but his usage, scoring role, and consistency make him an excellent win now sort of piece. Trey Henderson, and Mo is a Pats fan. He reached for this guy, but it's going to pay off this year. Gives the backfield of this team a genuine young difference maker. As a rookie, he produced 911 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns and played in his first Super Bowl. He averaged 5.1 yards per attempt. He also added 35 receptions, so he's good in the pass game, which is what you need for an elite running back production. Chris Olave finally got paid, and he delivered the elite season that we were waiting for all this time. He posted career highs with 100 receptions, 1,163 yards, and 9 touchdowns in 2025. Yes, there's a big risk when it comes to his concussion issue and him staying healthy, but the Saints showed that they believe in him and their new quarterback Tyler Shuck by paying him big time. He just got paid $132 million. So he is the alpha and the number one on that team as of right now. And into the future. Caleb Williams, he took a major step forward. He threw for Bears franchise record 3,942 yards with 27 touchdowns and only 7 receptions. He took care of the football while leading Chicago to an 11-win season and a division title. That's the profile of a quarterback whose dynasty value is increasing. The supporting roster of this team is also better than the typical 5-9 team. Breece Hall, DJ Moore, Xavier Worthy, Chuba Hubbard, Jalen Coker give this manager multiple usable starters and trade assets. This is not a teardown, but it does need work. The biggest issue for Mo this year is going to be roster construction rather than lack of talent. In a one quarterback league, carrying both CJ Stroud and Caleb Williams ties up significant value at a position where only one can start. Stroud remains a talented real-life quarterback, but his 2025 fantasy production was very modest. 3,041 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He had a QBR of 61.7, which was respectable, but he does not provide the same fantasy ceiling as Caleb Williams.
With the sack. 2nd and 23. Here comes Young. There goes Stroud. And what a interception.
So for Mo, that's going to make starting a quarterback a weekly decision more than a clear advantage. Wide receiver also looks a lot stronger on paper than it may perform weekly. Chris Olave is the clear wide receiver 1, but behind him, DJ Moore is changing offensive environments. Quentin Johnson still remains volatile. Xavier Worthy can be explosive, but he may not command consistent PPR value. Jalen Coker is promising, but he's still developing. Marvin Mims, Sterling Shepard are difficult to trust as regular starters. This team has plenty of names, but not enough guaranteed high-volume receivers after Olave. Tight end's another potential problem for Mo this year. Dawson Knox offers touchdown-dependent weeks, while David Njoku now with the Chargers on a 1-year deal. Njoku has the talent to become the starter, but he's got to establish himself in his new role in a new offense. The ugly, we can't avoid this. Yeah, they paid him, but Chris Olave's health history can't be ignored. He only played 8 games in 2024 because of multiple concussions. Then he missed the final game of 2025 after being treated for a blood clot in his lung. The Saints' enormous financial commitment is reassuring for fantasy managers, and he was cleared for training camp, but there's more medical risk attached to him than most receivers valued in the same tier. The other ugly issue is that the team may have finished 5-9 because it repeatedly started the wrong players. From this screenshot, you can see Caleb scoring substantially more than Stroud. Chuba Hubbard producing from the bench and an uneven output at receiver and tight end. This roster has depth, but the depth does not help unless this manager consistently identifies the correct lineup.